Hi. You may have just watched me on my previous podcast, the Knitting Podcast, but now I am here to bring you episode 3 of the Yarnivore Flosstube podcast. I'd like to issue a correction to myself from previous episode. I was talking about the snowflower, joyous something, knit along, joyous world, joyous nature, joyous something, but it's snowflower. And I totally said spoonflower, which is an awesome website for making fabric. If you want to make your own custom fabric or find custom fabric, they do have some really awesome things on spoonflower, but it has absolutely nothing to do with cross stitch. Not a damn thing. Right. So that was my little disclaimer I needed to make sure to do. It is at her website or her blog, whatever. Type in snowflower and sampler into a Google search and it's there. I promise you this time. I promise. I was drinking coffee, now I've switched to water. Because hydration is key. Key, I tell you. So, there are 3 major whips I've been working on this week. And I like to store things in these, which is, I believe Fiber Artsy is the one who said something about this. This is how she stores them, and I was like, that is ingenious. So I do that when I'm working on them, although I just watched the Evergreen Needle, and she has them hung up on a hanger in a garment bag, which is an idea I may have to do, because on this side of this closet here, there is a half. It's just a half. It's like cut in half, and then it has the pole. So I could put one in there, and it would fit perfectly, and then I don't really have to worry about, not utilizing space properly. So we have on the 14 count Sparkle Ada, the Let's Go on an Adventure, which is now finished. I'm not sure if anyone noticed this when I showed this last week, but I had made the tower too short. I omitted an entire, see the X's? I omitted an entire X in the Eiffel Tower. So I had to rip that out and go back, because otherwise it was going to be shorter than Big Ben, which made no sense. And I found that out when I was doing the clouds. The stinking clouds are how I found out. So it took me a little longer than I had anticipated, which is why I didn't do any border work or continue on the Let's Go on an Adventure. It had to get timed out after that because I was kind of mad at it. So I'll work more as I go along. I think next clue I'll probably try and do the border along the top at least a little bit. I don't know. Quite frankly, as long as I'm keeping up on the month to month, I feel like I'm winning, because it's not languishing away like the Once Upon a Time sampler or whatever. And I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I know a lot of people are substituting colors, and I think I may start substituting colors because I feel it's a bit drab. And maybe it's just me. I don't know, maybe you're feeling it too. But I feel that the colors are just not as oomphy as they could or should be. They lack oomph. Like the Once Upon a Time sampler. Hold on a sec. Just wait. You're going to see a very messy spot behind me. And possibly my butt. I apologize if you saw my butt. Okay, so the Once Upon a Time sampler, which languishes for me. See, that's as much as I've got done on this. Although I did put 2014 in, so I know when I started. But if you look at it, it's got a lot of color. There's a lot of different colors going on. And that's really one of the things I like about this sampler, is that there's so much color. Needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Like, the color is what drew me to the Once Upon a Time. And the color is probably going to be the reason I actually finish it. But put it up there. But this one, just not as colorful. It's like friggin' pastels. Do I look like a pastel person? I'm not a pastel person. Too many pastels. So I'm really hoping they like throw in a Taj Mahal and bump it up, but I'm not sure. If all of the colors that we've bought already were everything for the whole thing, which is probably what it is, I'm afraid the colors are just going to be annoying to me. But I can always give it away when I'm done, but you know, it's... The Clouds Factory one is not done in drab colors, but there's a lot of fiddly work, so I don't know. I don't know, but I am going to finish this. I will finish this. It will get done. It will just not be as interesting to me, I guess. Like, I don't know. When I go for Frosted Pumpkin, I want punchy colors. I want, you know, well, bam, in your face colors. I don't want friggin' pastels. That's just me, though. Pastels may be your thing, but if they're not, someone tell me I'm okay. I'm okay in the head. This is a normal problem to have. This is why people substitute colors all the time. I've never substituted a color. Maybe I should start. I don't know. It's so, like, I feel like if I changed it now, it would be completely off from the first half, so I am going to leave it and hope it gets better, but I don't know. My mother does love pastels. My mother's a taupe woman. She lives in a taupe world. She likes taupe. So this would work for her. Although I believe the content wouldn't, so I don't know. I like the camaraderie of doing it. That's something. And then, okay, so my Mirabilia kind of scared me for a little bit. And not in that it scared, like, boo! You know, it wasn't that. It scared me in that I was like, man, that's like 28 count. I don't have a lot of experience on 28 count. So last weekend, while I was waiting patiently for the hubby to make me a working copy, which he did on card stock, so I'm very excited about that. I decided that maybe I should try something a little more pedestrian, shall we say, on something with a lower count, just to, you know, get my juices flowing. So I took some DMC Charles Craft Carolina Linen Even Weave 28 Logana in the sand colorway, and I started this pattern, which is the Halloween Arches by Bent Creek. Like I said, I got it on Stash Unload. It did not come with the embellishments, these little star embellishments, but I'm pretty sure I have star buttons somewhere so I can do it. And that's what I worked on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. And I almost got my ghost finished. There's David Bowie. I almost got the ghost finished. You can see the spots for his eyes and his cheeks. And of course there's the pumpkin who needs his stem. So I started in the middle. And that gave me a lot more... It kicked me in the pants better to be able to start... well, not start, because I had already started, but to go back to my Mirabilia feeling like I wasn't going to screw up everything. Because inevitably I screw up a count somewhere along the line, and if I can fudge it, I will, but sometimes you can't, and I don't want that to happen on small count fabric, because that stretches out the holes, and blah blah blah. And basically I was just worrying myself for the sake of worrying, which is something I like to do on occasion. It's an excellent pastime. I think everyone should try it at least once. And if you believe me. So, of course, I've shown this to you before. This is my Mirabilia, Stevie. She was a gift from my mother for Christmas, and I am very excited about doing her. Like, very excited, like a small child waiting for Christmas. But I had to wait till I had a working pattern, and I did get a working pattern. So again, I was kind of worried about her, and I was going to work on Frederick. I got him all ready. I put him in the stand, and I didn't get to him because I was kind of obsessed with knitting this week. I'm not even going to lie to you. I had a bout of knitting that just would not give up, and I dye yarn for a living, and I was doing that, and blah 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 blah. Excuses. I did get to work on her though. I've not taken her out because I intend to work on her more tonight. I'm a horrible person. Yes, I am one of those people who leaves their stuff in the thing. Which is why I don't use hoops, because, oh god, getting those out is so hard. With my Jareth David Bowie needle minder, which is of superiorness, on 28 count gingerbread Lugana by Picture This Plus, which I've heard can be hard to get. I ordered this from 123 Stitch, so I had no problems. And, okay, if you watch the lovely array, you know about her frowny face in the August Peridot Fairy. I'm forever going to see a scorpion in this, thanks to everybody on Instagram, because I now see a scorpion. It's a very stylized scorpion in purple and pink. There are like 4 colors in there. I love this. I love this. See, I'm savoring it like a chocolate bar. I'm doing a little bit at a time because I am enjoying doing this so much. I'm surprised at how easy it is, because in my mind, I guess I assumed in my head, and we're losing sunlight, so the lighting is really going to change here. It was really good for the first podcast. Anyway, I assumed in my head that Mirabilias were alike to chatelaines, and chatelaines have a lot of specialty stitches. And while I love chatelaines, and I would like to do one day, or 2 or 3 or 7, I figured Mirabilias were equally as troublesome based off of some of the things I've heard, based off the idea of 1/1 skin, which, by the way, I'm not even going to attempt on this. I think I have to have a few in the bag before I do 1/1 on the skin. But I just, in my head, I had it worked up to be something so much bigger than it actually is. It literally is quite easy. It's just cross stitch. And while learning the fabric has been a learning curve and a new thing for me, not so much hardship. I quite enjoy it. I got lost in it last night while I was doing it. You can't see how much progress I've made because obviously it's been a while since I've shown it, but filled in this whole area here. Got that in and got that in, which seems small, but that was probably an hour and a half worth of work because I was taking it very carefully. I just love it. I love it. I don't know if planning like 5 or 6 already in my head. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Basically, all the mermaids need to come live with me, and there's 1 or 2 other ones. I really like the Nouveau one, the Art Nouveau or the Nouveau. Oh, that was so pretty. Now, this is going to be a short podcast because I really don't have much to show you unless I dig into the stash and show you the ones I'm going to do for magazines, which, by the way, are all Halloween. And there's a skull one that's really awesome, actually, but I'm not going to dig in there. I have decided to use my lovely giant scrap of fabric to do the snowflower. To do the snowflower, I am currently deciding on whether I'm going to bite the bullet and order all the specialty, or if I'm going to do DMC. DMC is probably going to win. I'm not even going to lie to you. I like the fact that I could do it for nothing. That excites me. I could do this and it could cost me like $10 minimum, like maximum. And that is very exciting to me because it's going to be like an abysmal amount of money to frame. But it would be something nice, which I could, like, prospectively, like, give to my aunt or something who would really appreciate it. I also wanted to point out, which I saw, and I'm not sure if anyone else saw, and I plan to take advantage of it this weekend since, payday. The Primitive Hare, on her blog, released a code for 15% off of anything in her Etsy shop. So if you want PDF copies of any of the Primitive Hare stuff, which is gorgeous, let me bring some up for you. I know there was at least one in one of the Halloween specials by just Cross Stitch, is it? I think it's just Cross Stitch. You know what's sad? my iPad automatically knows what I want. It's like, oh, the primitive hair. She does a lot of Halloween stuff that is really gorgeous, like really, really gorgeous. But she also does, where's the one I want? She also does books, like classic literature. And while some people are all obsessed with Pride and Prejudice and stuff, I don't like Jane Austen. Okay, I did the first 2 years of an English degree in university before switching my major, because I switched it many times. And I had to read almost every Jane Austen and almost every Charles Dickens book, and I hated both authors. Like, I hate them. My favorite author, however... Come here. I want it to be big. Zoom. That's probably how you do it. My favorite author is, of course, the Bronte, Charlotte Bronte. And she's got Jane Eyre. And it looks all old and primitive style. We'll hold it back there. It says, I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being. Something independent will. Of course, there's an ink bottle right in front of it. Maybe it'll say what it actually says. It's got the keys, and I love the Bronte work. It's $14.50, 25% off, or 15% off, makes it a lot cheaper. They're PDF downloads. She's got the Robin Hood one everyone's seen. I love that one. Sleeping Beauty, which has a spinning wheel, so I'm probably going to have to get that one. There's a couple, Beatrix Potter, The Six Wives of Henry VIII. This one, I know you're just like, seriously, stop doing this to us. This one, I kind of must have, because it's so evil. So it's got the mermaid, which has no face, which is awesome. Like, the mermaid looks evil. I like sinister, not evil, not like she's gonna kill you, but she looks sinister, which is what she's supposed to be. And it says, Mermaid of Melodies, Guardians of the Deep, Siren. Call that ship out to crash it. I know my husband's in the Navy, and I like mermaids that kill sailors. I have a warped brain, okay? Seriously warped brain. And then there's the full moon one where you get 12 different, it's for $40, you get 12 different releases, I believe. Or is it every moon cycle? Either way. No, 12 designs inspired by the 12 full moons of the year. Awesome. I need that one too. I'm going to go crazy there because it's 15% off. So if you like her stuff and you've been kind of waffling, go get the PDF downloads at 15% off. The code is in her blog. If you do the primitive hair blog, whatever, it'll bring it up. I would tell it to you, but I think that the traffic is appropriate. It's also on the Facebook page, if you aren't already there. I'm not. So when I saw that, I was like, yes! So I'm sharing that with you, should you choose to be an oddball like me. That is everything I have to report this week on Flosstube. Hopefully I'll have some more next week. This weekend is Valentine's Day, of course, and I should be getting yarn and cross-stitch stuff. And I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will see you next week.